transportation can be something that really can be a disengaging aspect that can actually destroy neighborhoods and destroy communities, or it can be the thing that actually ties people together. And how you get around, whether it's walking, on sidewalks, on bikes, and on a grander scale, kind of on a more at the universal level, thinking about transportation and its effect on kind of global issues, war, environment, and so forth.
So we made a 14, well, it's actually a 15-person pedal-powered vehicle. We call it the busycle. It's like a bus. It has no motor, so everybody pedals. One guy drives and has brakes. Everybody else pedals. They're all recumbent bikes.
I'm Heather Clark, and I'm partners with Matthew Mazzato on this project. We're the kind of the founding artists, and there's been a group of over 50 people that have helped make the project happen on the busycle. But we came up with the idea over a year ago. We were applying for an artist in residency program, and we decided to create the busycle.
So there's like bed frames and weight equipment, and that plexiglass there is from like a hockey arena, and this is from like a Mack truck, and that's from, I don't even know what that's from. And then we found some wood.
And the busycle itself, the idea emerged for a number of reasons, but thinking about transportation as being almost a litmus test of what's happening in your community.
This project is all made out of recyclable materials, so we had like a small budget. We got a little grant for like $1,000, and then people just made it in Boston, so we kind of opened it up. Whoever wants to help us or whatever.
So we decided to create the busycle, and what emerged was this really interesting dynamic, a group of people that came together to make the project happen.
People came out of the woodwork. From all walks of life, and
people from all different walks of life and experience came to and helped to build this project. We opened it up because we had absolutely no idea how to build a busycle, and so we involved over 50 volunteers who helped us do everything from figuring out how to build it to how to bring it out to neighborhoods to actually now bring it across country.
Yeah, kind of just it all came together in terms of like all the materials started working together, and then all the people started working together. So we had, MIT professors kind of help us do some of the engineering for figuring that out, and then we had like a pastry chef kind of welding up some stuff. We'll teach him how to weld, and then he welded, and then there's midwife and a horn player. There's all kinds of people. Crazy nuts, bike nuts.
Don't pedal backwards. Matt does backwards on a transmission, and you don't need to. You can pedal at a normal rate. Don't try to be a muscle man. You can actually break a station if you try to go crazy, but you can just go at your own speed. And if you feel like something's funny that's happening to your station, let us know, because things can break. They probably won't, but it's always good to just yell out. Now the fun stuff, that was the not so fun stuff. The fun stuff is feel free to yell. This is a vehicle where we encourage yelling, and you actually are required to. And what is going to happen is Matt will be giving you instructions all the way down. So there'll be instructions like go. That means everyone should start pedaling. Heidi down here won't be able to hear you, so you have to start yelling go all the way down. Stop, same thing. Slow down, same thing. And that's about it.
When Matt Mazzato and Heather Clark started the project, they, as they started looking into this idea, they found out that it's actually been other communities, like in there's a group in Amsterdam, Netherlands, which has actually created something very similar to this, which is a bit more functional and actually is used for transportation, I believe, where they similar model, like 20 people biking on a bus.
You ever heard this term top-down planning? It's where, like, I don't know, a city would go, your neighborhood gets a bus, or no, we don't like the bus, you get the subway, or you get no subway, or you get a bike pass. So it's basically people up, top saying your community should get this. This is the other way. We took a whole bunch of people from the community and said, let's build something, and now it goes where we want to go. So it's the antithesis of that.
Mm-hmm. My name is Jan Sutton, and this is my friend Edie, and I have just been riding on the bus cycle, and I heard about the bus cycle from my daughter who lives in Boston, and she was involved in the actual granting of the money to start the bus cycle. So I searched out this area, and she told me about it, but I didn't really know what to expect.
And I don't know, it's kind of a feat to get it all done because we had such a small budget. And well, here it is now, so we're taking it across the country.
Well, we've been traveling. We started from Boston. We're going to be going to San Francisco and making several stops along the way, various cities, bringing out the busycle. I think it's great.
And I was mostly surprised at how hard, it's not really hard, but it's some effort to do the cycling. Some effort is involved.
So right now we're taking a tour, visiting, I think it's 9 or 10 different cities, going from Boston to San Francisco, inviting people to ride and enjoy themselves, and then afterwards doing what we call story collection.
And then I was so excited because I was trying to get children to come to this. So I asked my nephews, I asked a lot of people with children, and no one would come. So then my friend Edie is almost 90, and my friend Edie said she would come. So she got on, and she said she hasn't bicycled in 30 years. And so she got on, and she was able to bicycle and do the bus cycle.
Now we're going across the country and doing a story collecting tour where we do a ride, but then we also collect stories of the people that have come out to the event. So we're going to host a little event after this and kind of tell some stories and hear some other people's stories.
And the reason why we do that is because what we saw is that the bicycle brings people together. It kind of crosses boundaries, and it makes people open up in a way that's a little different than a normal experience. And so we wanted to start collecting the stories of the people that were involved in the project. So tonight there's going to be a story collection where anyone who wants to can tell a story, and we're going to see what happens. And in every city there's a different thing, and it's a big experiment. And we actually have no idea how it will work, but here we are.
And I think Minnesota, I think we really need something like this in Minneapolis, because it would bring awareness to, we have all this stupid traffic jams and everything, and we need to have more mass public transportation and more people riding bicycles.
I think people, especially now, I think with energy issues on people's minds, I think people have fun with it. And I think while this isn't necessarily the most practical thing in the world, it could certainly be improved on. It's heavy. I think it's sort of gets the direction. I think it gets people thinking about issues that are
consciousness, and gets people to start thinking about transportation issues and coming together as as a community to make something like this happen. Like in our car, when people are driving around in their cars, they're generally alone and boxed in by this wall, by all these walls. But on the bicycle, people can sit down and talk to each other and get some exercise and kind of move around, see the city a bit together.
I hope that this gets on the whole network television so that we can show more people that there's lots of options to just being in your car with the one person driving.
Last night was a really interesting one where we were in Chicago at a place called Experimental Station, which is an artist space in Southside Chicago in Hyde Park. And what we ended up doing was having a big party almost, where people came out, they brought food, we had lots of rides, and then we did story collection. And people told a really wide range of stories, from kind of campfire type stories of funny camping trips where skunks were chasing them, to one woman tap danced, and she thinks stories are told through tap, to another woman told this really wild story about how her grandparents met, where her grandmother came here from the Philippines, and there's a whole wild story about that marriage. But last night was a lot of fun, and so tonight we'll see if a different direction emerges and kind of where that goes, and then kind of wonder what does that tell about the people in Minneapolis, or the people that came out tonight.
We work with such a limited budget, and all these parts were just coming from wherever. We had to work with what we had, and so I know now how to make it a lot more efficient and go a lot faster. But
the bicycle too will top out at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, so
this one only goes about 10. So
he's joking.
I see.
We're going to be doing Boston at the end of the tour on our round trip. So we're going to be going out to San Francisco, leaving the bicycle out in San Francisco for the summer, and then coming back and doing a southwest trip and going back to Boston. And Boston's our final place. We're from Boston. That's where the project started, and that's going to be the last stop of the trip.
We're kind of found out that the most impressive thing about this is maybe it doesn't go that fast and it's not an engineering feat, but it brought a lot of cool people together to work under one kind of common theme, and that was kind of what we kind of benefited the most from it.